The Gaza Strip has been described as the world's largest open-air prison. The crippling blockade on Gaza, imposed by Israel and Egypt, has been in place since 2007. The blockade has seriously affected the lives of Palestinians in the coastal territory. It has caused a humanitarian crisis that experts warn is worsening by the day. Palestinians have faced mounting difficulties in bringing in essential goods like food and medicine. Shortages of drinking water and fuel are making things even worse. Tough Israeli restrictions have been hampering reconstruction efforts after Israel's wars on Gaza. Meanwhile, the blockade has seriously hurt trade between the Gaza Strip and the outside world. The World Bank has issued a fresh warning about the dire economic situation in Gaza, calling on Israel and Egypt to allow freer trade.
Israel knows exactly what it's doing. It is this twin policy of oppression, but monitoring very carefully to try and keep a lid on things. And therefore, it does know that at any moment, if it misjudges that balancing act it tries to operate, it'll blow up in its face, and there will be a much wider uprising than it has seen in recent years.
The World Bank report warns that economic woes in the Gaza Strip are too deep to be tackled by international aid. It says the economy of Gaza needs to be reconnected to the outside world. According to the World Bank, the impacts of the ongoing closure regime have to be addressed as part of any effort at economic recovery. Last year, Gaza's economy expanded just 0.5%. The unemployment rate in the Palestinian territory rose from 41.7% in 2016 to 43.6% last year. Palestinians hope the new report will once again draw international attention to their plight. Meanwhile, the World Bank has painted a bleak picture of the economic situation in the occupied West Bank, where unemployment has risen to 40% for adults under 30. According to the International Financial Institution, the standard of living in the West Bank is falling. The report blames the situation on a drop in Israeli lending to Palestinian banks.
The Oslo Accords effectively intertwined the Palestinian economy with the Israeli economy, making it very difficult for the Palestinians to extract themselves from that. In terms of their ability to source goods and services from abroad and to market their own goods. Effectively, Israel controls most of that. And indeed, even when goods are imported into the West Bank in particular, Israel can collects the taxes and then decides how much of the taxes it collects it gives back to the Palestinians. So that's in terms of the day-to-day running. But another important issue is the fact that the Palestinian population is growing.
Israel's financial policies toward the Palestinians have become much more hostile over the past year. The United States has been following suit. It has taken measures against the Palestinian government in a bid to pressure it to make concessions to Israel. Last year, US President Donald Trump froze $65 million promised to the Palestinians after they condemned the US for recognizing Jerusalem Al-Quds as Israel's capital. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency warns that US cuts will seriously hurt 500,000 Palestinian children.
There's been a conference over the last couple of days in Rome looking at the funding of UNRWA, because cutting aid to UNRWA will impact both in the West Bank and in Gaza, because Palestinian refugees exist in both of these areas as well as in the wider diaspora. What the Israelis, supported by the Americans, are pursuing are policies that humiliate, deprive the Palestinians, and at some point the whole situation will boil over, and Israel cannot then claim that it is the Palestinians who just look for trouble. but that it is its own policies that push them into that.
Observers believe recent political developments suggest that the economies of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip are highly unlikely to improve in the near future.